Also going to have Mosh build their new museum directly west of that. That's also going to be public land. So there's going to be all these public parks right on the river, across from the Maxwell House, across from the stadium, next to the Four Seasons. Sorry. And all that's going to be public access. We're going to have docks out there. It's going to be a lot more Florida-friendly plants and stuff like that. That's the whole plan. So that way you can ride your bike, you can go down East Randolph, you can go on the Emerald Trail, right, which is going to connect all the way up here. You take that Emerald Trail line all the way to the river, and you'll be able to fish and be able to use the access that we're going to have there. We're also going to have things like basketball courts, volleyball courts, stuff like that. It's going to be a very activated space. That's in the plan right now. And I didn't mention it, but I didn't mention it about the CBA, but part of the CBA dollars is also parks. And it's for that reason, because we want to make sure that there's good, high-quality parks right there on the river. It's the best asset in our city. It's quite literally the reason why Jacksonville exists, our river, right? So we want to make sure that everyone has access to it, public access. Shouldn't just be for Shad Khan's boat. You know, why are you wearing an Eagles shirt? I just noticed that too. Why is not wearing a Jaguar shirt in here? All right, there we go. Someone's got love. All right, now Eagles, sorry about it. But it's in the plan, and it's going to be in the next 3 to 4 years to all be implemented.
Everything is developed downtown. That they're doing downtown, but they skip this whole area and pick it up again at the zoo. I did with developing all that there and everything. But as far as the infrastructure here, down there, there's nothing, there's no park somewhere down here. The Emerald Trail will be here, I guess, eventually, but right now, there's nothing. And one of my main things that I want to talk about is the seniors. You know, and then this insurance, nobody's talking about the insurance. Why it's so high? We can't afford it. I'm seeing, I can't afford insurance for my homeowners and for my automobile. And the money you gotta get off Social Security is just eating it up.
Well, sir, I'm a Democrat. I can tell you exactly why insurance is high. Because the Republicans don't care about any of us. That's why. But the point is, I can't personally help with insurance as a city council member. But we have Angie Nixon, Tracy Davis. We've got folks in Tallahassee that can help. We also have, we can hook you up with Aaron Dean's office. He's your Congress member. But to the point of development, you mentioned seniors.
Yeah.
One of the things that's going to be happening in the next phase of the Phoenix Art District project is they're going to be building housing. One of the housing developments they're going to do is an affordable senior living residence. That's something that this city is woefully ignoring. We do not have a lot of places for our seniors to live. We talk about homelessness a lot, but there is, as I've been told by homeless advocates, senior homelessness is an incredibly high level, and it's basically not being told because they're sleeping on people's couches. So people might consider that, oh, they're not homeless, they're sleeping on a couch. But as long as they don't have a long-term place to live, that's still considered homeless. And so we have a lot of underprivileged individuals in our community that we keep ignoring. Seniors are among them. They're the highest among them, frankly. So I'm happy to see Phoenix Art District's going to be doing that. When we talk about potential schools closing, honestly, one of the first things I thought about is a lot of those schools could be retrofitted into residential, and that could be senior living. In fact, Ortega Elementary is looking to become senior living. So it's something that we could do and tackle, but it's a must, and nobody else is really talking about it, so I appreciate you bringing it up. As for the insurance portion, we've got a governor that's no interest in solving that problem right now. It's killing us. Any more
What I was
questions?
gonna say about the senior living, I'm not on that, but you know, everything is a process. But as it relates to senior living, you know, you have to get involved and go to these meetings and go to board. You just can't sit here and say so and so and so. You have to get involved in this stuff. Because me, myself, as a senior, when you're paying $1,000 a month for rent, that's not affordable to seniors. Some seniors, I remember my poor little great aunt, she only got $300 a month for Social Security. but she's been gone a long time. But a lot of African-American seniors do not get a lot of money monthly. So I know myself, when you talking about stuff like that, you really have to go to these meetings when they get ready to build affordable houses. You got to be in the planning stage. You can't come back on the tail end. It's work, it's effort, it's a lot involved. So when you say affordable housing, $1,000 to me is not affordable housing for a senior.
And you're not wrong. A lot of people say affordable housing is between 80% AMI to 120% AMI. AMI is the median income, average median income. Which right now, average is probably $57,000, $58,000. For a lot of people, they're not making that. And if you're going to 120% of that, that means you're in the $60,000 range. If you're going to 80% of that, you're in the maybe $50,000 range, maybe $48,000, $49,000. So that's still not always super affordable, yet it's considered such because we still have a lot of people that can't even afford that right now. So I'm with you. There are times that I've been pushing for developers to look for very low income, which is that 30% of AMI range. That way it gets into the $100 range, a couple $100 range. But there's a lot of developers that'll say, I can't make money off of that. And so it becomes difficult. You gotta have subsidies from the government.
It's not just, seniors, it's young adults who are disabled as well.
Yep, absolutely. Which one would hope that they use SSI. They do get some kind of benefit from the feds.
Now,
Certainly.
The funding that's designated for the river walk for the park, do they have a set amount that's allotted for that?
Yeah, I think in grand total, not just CBA, I think it was in the 90s million range for all of the parks.
Okay, well, okay.
It's a
all the
substantial
parks.
amount.
So that means it could come out east side and help with building up and building and constructing new buildings and multi-purpose buildings for use in Cooper Park. I specifically said Cooper Park.
So it's for the river, it's for specific parks that are in the middle of being developed and built up now. So they've already identified those parks that are getting those parks money.
So it couldn't be put on the list?
It's for these like large scale, just on the river parks. Now there's other dollars that we could spend on different parks that currently exist. That's possible. And keep in mind, part of the CBA is I also get a couple bucks as a city council member, so I'll be using that on things like street repair, lighting, sidewalks, different stuff like that. We could also use them on parks and things like that.
Good.
But it's not a ton of money, so I gotta make sure I'm using it wisely. Yes, ma'am.
Since you said street repair, I wonder, like, do y'all go back and double check the work that these contracts have? Because I noticed that when other potholes in different areas I feel, it's smooth. Over here, they fix a pothole, it's this much cement, asphalt on top of the pothole. But then 2 or 3 weeks, the hole is back again.
I can promise you, as somebody who lives over in the Riverside Avondale area, they'll fill potholes and they'll be the exact same way in 2 weeks. The way we fill potholes ain't great. And the reason is we have got limestone below us. So the limestone deteriorates very, very quickly, especially when it's wet. And we've had a very wet year. So this year in particular, potholes have been so much worse than they've been in the past. Best way to make sure that we don't get these potholes is to build out really good drainage systems, to make sure that we're draining the water better. So I can tell you, as a city council member, not just on the CBA, we're working on, so we get a pot of money for resurfacing, and there's a list of roads that get resurfaced. There's also a pot of money for drainage projects, and there's a list of drainage projects. Most of those drainage projects are in District 7, 8, 9, District 1, which is Arlington, old city limits. The amount of money we put toward road resurfacing is pretty good. It's a good amount, I think it's like $100 million. The amount of money we put toward drainage projects in that list, this year we doubled the number from 3 million to 6 million. $6 million for drainage projects for the whole city. It is woefully inadequate.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, there's other drainage projects in our capital budget that are getting fixed up, but those are really, really expensive ones. The drainage projects I'm talking about are like a couple $100,000, maybe $1 million. that the city could fund and do, that could really make sure that a lot of these older areas are able to drain their water better. There's a really good drainage project right now for the Newtown area, and let me tell you, it floods so bad in some parts of this city. And it's only gonna cost like $3 million, but it's been on the back burner forever. So I'm trying to, A, speed up the process for things on that drainage list, and also get them more money. So that's something that I'm working on in the next couple of weeks and months. All that to say, yes, whenever work gets done by the city, there's a 1-year warranty. There's a 1-year warranty. So if that project is garbage, you call the city and you say, I know there's a 1-year warranty. I want to either file a claim or say that that contractor should go back and fix the job that they did. I would CC me or Brooks on that email if you're gonna do that. But I can tell you, potholes, yeah, they're awful everywhere. As soon as they're filled, you're right, within 3 to 4 weeks, they start kicking in.
And we really don't flood around here, we have the same flood spot since for the last 30 years.
It's
It's just
flooded
the
by
H
Dollar
Street by the Dollar General, that's the only one spot.
It wasn't right.
But I'm just saying the limestone underneath, once it gets wet, it starts to deteriorate and break down. So with the amount of rain that we've had, even though the rain's running off in probably parts of this town, it's still making that limestone, yeah, like right below our roads, basically. Crappy material. So it'd be better if it was concrete, and maybe one day we'll be able to do all that, but that's gonna be
What is
billions of dollars.
Save Our Water project?
Say it again?
Save the water, Save Our Water project.
Save our water.
Yeah, JEA mentioned that to me when I was contacting them about exit funds and drainage and things like that. So I was trying to understand if you were aware of what that project really entails.
You know, I used to work for a state agency called the Water Management District that worked with JEA on projects like that, but I don't remember that name. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't wanna speak out of turn.
Well, the JEA was saying that, a lot of the old houses right here, is got lead pipe. And they gonna have to change them out,
Yeah.
but the people can't afford to do it themselves, so how they gonna get it done? JEA gonna do that?
So they might. So there's federal grants to change out lead pipes. So when we passed the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act a couple of years ago, you know, Joe Biden's big bill for infrastructure,
Yeah.
part of that money was to trade out lead pipes. He specifically said that. One of the reasons was because of Flint, Michigan, and the disaster that happened there. So there's money in there. I think out of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Association, there's grants for that. And I think the city put in for one of those grants. In fact, I'm pretty sure, but I think Ashante Green actually put in for that. So like, there's gonna be money. The point is, there are grants and money available. No, you don't have to pay for it, but it should be either JEA or some sort of certified contractor to do the work. So I know that those exist. When I can get you more info, I'll be able to direct you to them.
All right.
Okay, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. Let's get our Councilman Jimmy Pelosi.
Thank you guys. Sure.
See for the tournament, they really care about the people, please.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I was late. I had 2 other events.
You say the best for last. Okay, we're gonna get a group picture with our councilman, so you guys come up, and then this will conclude our meeting of the night.
Miss Gloria,
Everyone's
she
like,
asked
oh.
you to come up with the council. You speak tonight, all the speakers.
Wanna move the table?
Yeah. All right.